Hi there, I'm Coach Kenneth, and in this video, I'm going to be talking to you about why your silence says a lot more than your words ever could. So one of the things that I often see in a breakup, and I hear you guys on the calls talk to me about, is wanting to say all these things to your ex. You want to get in front of them. You want to send them a letter. You want to change their mind, an accountability letter. Maybe you've seen somebody advertise on my channel, you gotta send an accountability letter if no contact's ever gonna work. No, that's not true. Okay? No contact, no reaching out is far more powerful than any words could ever be. Okay? So what do I mean by that? Our words are, of course, very powerful, but the absence of no contact, the absence of pressure is far more effective in turning things around. How do I know? Well, I've been coaching you guys just on breakups for a very long time. And I've been studying this stuff for a very long time. And one year, I kept track of all the data of people that did handwritten letters, and the responses were often that they were completely ignored. Sometimes the letters would get sent back unopened, or sometimes an ex might say a couple of words about it, but generally it didn't go well. That's why I've been telling you guys for a long time. It doesn't work. It's weak. It's a weak position. It doesn't show confidence. It shows you're trying to manipulate and not respect their decision. So I know it's tough though. So we're going to talk a lot about the silence and no contact and the psychology behind it, because if you're trying no contact or you're doing it and maybe you're fresh to the breakup, maybe you've been watching our channel for a long time and you just want a refresher, all that's totally understandable. But you're going to doubt it. You're going to doubt no contact, especially when you have this nonsense about people saying that it doesn't work. But I'm telling you guys, I give you the information that I would do if I wanted to turn our breakup around. But you're scared and you're anxious and everything inside of you is saying reconnect. I have to reconnect. And that's because of who we are as human beings biologically. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But I know the first thing that you're thinking is that this is pointless. Is my silence doing anything? Many of you guys will make the mistake of assuming that just because your ex hasn't reached out yet, that it's not doing anything at all. But that doesn't make any sense. How could you possibly know? Just because they haven't reached out yet doesn't mean that you know for sure that it's not working. It's a process, and I see it all the time. Exes often don't come back right away when we're dying to get them back. They often come back when we have let go and kind of moved on. But that's why I'm telling you guys constantly, let them go to get them back. Do the work, process, heal, get to a great place, and then they often come back. And now you can decide, do I want to try and make this work again? It's tough when you're going through it because you don't feel like you'll ever get there. But if you don't do the work, then you probably won't get there. But if you really do that work and process and watch all those videos on my channel, often have the lowest amount of views because it's hard to transition from the obsession of is my ex coming back to truly doing the work to get them back. That's the struggle that many people have, is transitioning from the obsession of if they're coming back to I'm going to do whatever I can to put myself in the best position to turning it around when they do come back. So let's talk more about the silence. When you are silent, when you are not reaching out, it takes away the pressure. Now, that doesn't dissipate overnight because for a while, depending upon how much pressure you put at the breakup, it takes that pressure time to go away and slowly get to a place where the relief that they're experiencing kind of fades away. And now they're wondering about you, what you're doing, where you're at. And that's just part of the process. And you guys doubt that this works, but from a biological standpoint, think about it like this. When we're toddlers and we toddle away from our parents, what happens? At some point, we feel anxious, we feel the space, and we come toddling right back because we are wired to stay connected to our loved ones. And that goes for your ex as well. But when they're toddling away from you, if you're watching them, not giving them any space, not allowing them to do what they want to do, they don't get scared. Think about it. Imagine you're little and you're in the other room playing or whatever, and you're feeling confident because you see your parents are watching on you and checking on you and they're making sure you're safe. Well, you're not going to feel that anxiety, right? But if you wonder, wait, where are they? I don't hear anybody in the house. Did they go upstairs? Where? You're going to go running looking for everybody. That's biological. And so those kind of things can happen to our ex and do happen to our ex when we give them the silence and take that pressure away. And then they start to think, well, have you moved on? I haven't heard from them. Maybe somebody else is dating them now. Maybe they're interested in somebody else. Now they don't feel in control anymore. They don't feel like they have control of the situation like they did at the time of the breakup. See, over time, taking away your presence allows them to feel the space and they get the separation anxiety. You want them to experience the full weight of the breakup. If you reach out, if you make any bids to connect with them, there's no consequence. You need to think about that, okay? You have to understand that any bids to connect, handwritten letter, clean slate message, good reminder text, all of that makes them unconsciously know, I still have this person. Unfortunately, as the dumpee, you want to connect, you want to tell them how much you care, how much you need them, how much you love them, how sorry you are, how willing you are to change. And that just comes across as needy. And it makes them feel like they have a power over you or that they're in control. And you're displaying all these unattractive behaviors that make them lose interest. It's not fair because if it happened to them, they would feel the same way. It's just what happens in this kind of dynamic. Now, the other thing that silence does is it protects you from saying things that you're going to regret. Let's be honest. We're very vulnerable, emotionally charged, hurt, angry, scared, confused, bitter. So many different feelings, most of them not good. And you're going to want to say those things to your ex, which is likely going to make things worse. It often leads to the begging, arguing, over-explaining yourself, and you're just going to look desperate, and it doesn't look like you can be okay without them, right? Like you're insecure. And that's one of the most confident things that you can do is show them, I'm okay without you. You don't have to like it. You don't have to want it, but you want to show them, hey, I am confident enough to leave this situation alone and to know my worth, that if somebody doesn't want me in their life, somebody doesn't want to be in a relationship with me, I'm okay with that. No confidence allows your ex to have the space for a genuine reflection, for missing you, and in a place where they're not feeling pressure. They're not feeling manipulated. They're not feeling coerced. They can genuinely reflect on these things. And then they often start to see, you know what? They kind of freaked out about that thing, but I did do this thing to trigger them. Or I know I was being distant. Or I know that maybe they had done something a little bit wrong to set things off. And they can start to realize that the relationship wasn't as imbalanced as it felt because their anger or hostility or hurt has calmed down. They've processed those things. So The space allows somebody the ability to think about things more clearly, reflect on things. And when they can do that internally without any pressure, it truly allows them to think, you know what? They did do all those great things for me and remember the good times a lot easier. And now in a place of, and you know what? Maybe they are going to talk to somebody new. And then I'll never have a chance to tell them that maybe we can fix this. So they will start to stalk your social media and look to see what you're doing. But it takes a while to get there, and there's a lot of doubt in this time. But the challenging thing is consistent no reaching out. No bids to connect. No handwritten letters. No good reminder texts. Don't watch their stories. Don't like their posts. Don't post a song that you like together or a TV show knowing that they're going to watch it. All of that stuff tells them that you're still available and that they're not losing you. There's no real consequence to their action. Use no contact to truly look at your attachment issues, learn to be confident, process the breakup. You got to work through your hurt, your anger, your sadness, your resentment. If you don't work through those things, it'll just come right back out if you start spending time with this person again. Or it might even continue to come out in other relationships with other people. You have to work on things and not blame everybody that you date because one person cheats on you. You know what I mean? Like, many people get hurt by one person, and instead of dealing with it and processing it, they continue to treat other people poorly for the rest of their life. You don't want to be like that. You want to get to a great place where you're confident about who you are, what you bring to a relationship, choosing a good partner, and showing the skills to repair a connection and have a healthy connection with either your ex or with anybody else. Trying to get in front of your ex and tell them how you feel, how you regret things, it kind of gives them more power of the situation, knowing that it's kind of like you're groveling and you're trying to show them, please, I'm do anything to get you back. And it just doesn't create attraction. And that is your ultimate goal, is to create attraction and attract them back. But when you're desperately wanting something, you really have no power for yourself and you're at their mercy. So you got to do the work so you're okay with them or without them. And I know that you want them, but if the only person that's going to make you happy is them, you are really giving up your power and your happiness to somebody else. And that's not healthy for any of us. So think about everything that I'm saying today. If you are confused about no contact, do a coaching with me. We'll talk about everything. We'll talk about your situation. I do email coachings and I do Zoom calls. You can check out my creative healing course or my workbooks on the website. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and I will talk with you soon.